Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Marc. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, the Coffee Club. I'm Felix.
And I am Dr. Marc.
And we're here tonight.
Well, I have to say that I'm not the kind of doctor that could help anybody if they have Ebola.
I don't think any doctor can help you if you have Ebola.
Well, I hope people are lining up to get their Ebola shots at their local hospital.
Which they don't have.
Exactly. But you know, I figured out a way, Felix, how we could turn Ebola to our advantage.
Oh, yeah?
In this war against ISIS. If we load a bunch of Ebola into some of these bombs and drop them on top of ISIS, you know, then they have a 21-day incubation period and then they all drop dead.
Germ warfare, huh?
Exactly, germ warfare.
Outlawed.
I think it says something in the Geneva Convention about that.
Yeah, it's called, and it's a no-no in the Geneva Convention.
Well, it's all right. I do believe that beheading innocent people is
There's also no-no in the Geneva Convention.
By the way, I really do have to compliment you when you were the Rebellious Rev on Friday. Those pictures of Ebola were, I mean, it's enough to force anybody to go on a diet. You know, you take a look at that hand, and it really does wonders for the Constitution, you know?
Yeah, right. What did you think, how many days is it to Election Day?
3 weeks. And I've heard quite a few commercials already. I'm not talking about political commercials, but I am talking about people telling listeners to get out and vote.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're all about.
Yeah, you know, with the coffee party, yeah. I mean, it's so important to go out and vote. I mean, they're saying some of these races, the differences are very small, and there's a chance of a swing of power in the Congress and the Senate, I guess.
Well, no, Congress
is not
Congress will remain Republican, but if the Democrats lose control, however slightly, in the Senate, it could be lights out for the last 2 years of Obama's presidency.
Like it's been the last 6 years?
Well, but I think he wouldn't even be able to light a candle. Let's put it that way.
I mean, he can go on and just get his pen and start signing as he's been, because that's the only way he can pass anything anyway.
Well, you know, it's a shame. You know, the man has made proposals. I know that you don't see that he's trying to compromise, but I think he is trying to compromise. The problem is now he's fed up with compromise, because he tried it for his first term and it didn't seem to do much good, very little. And now you can forget about it. I mean, I don't think it's working at all. So, you know, he's threatening to use executive order.
That's what I said, his pen.
And I'm agreeing with you, you know. But, you know, once or if the Senate swings the other way, all they have to do is veto, override his his signature. They can do that.
They can. They need 75%, or how much?
67%.
Well, I don't think they're going to get 67%.
Well, you see, while Republicans tend to vote as a bloc, Democrats never do. Okay, we've discussed this before on the show. And some of those Democrats who are in jeopardy next time around, as far as their seat is concerned, the president may not have much sway, with them. I mean, just look at, you and I were talking about
Kentucky.
Right,
yeah.
With Lundgren Grimes, and she's distancing herself as much as she can. They asked her if she voted for Obama in 2012, which really is her own business, but she says we should be looking at 2014 and 2016, and then she said she's a Clinton Democrat, so she's dancing around it.
Yeah, of course.
And on the other side of the coin, you have Kay Hagan in North Carolina. North Carolina?
I don't know.
I believe it's North Carolina. Kay Hagan said President Obama is welcome anytime. So,
who knows? Anyway, our phone number here is 646.
We got a phone?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Just now.
Oh, I mean, no more smoke signals, huh?
No more smoke signals.
Oh, good, okay.
646-595-3275. You could call us, and somebody will actually talk to you live. Even though we don't sound like we are sometimes, but we actually are live.
Well, actually, Felix is trying to work out a deal where we can be cloned. So we can be here and yet not be here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I feel like people think we're cloned already.
Well, got to look out for those West African flights from Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Because those are the places that you really have to be careful.
Yeah, and why isn't the president stopping the flights like other countries are?
Maybe it's not to our advantage. I don't know. I know that some Americans some politicians have mentioned that. You were telling me, right?
Yeah, a lot of
Bobby
politicians.
Jindal?
A lot of politicians, not just Republicans. And other countries are doing it. I believe most of the Western world is doing it. I'm not sure, but I think they are. If anybody knows who's actually been stopped flying into Africa, what countries, to 3 countries that are affected. What are those 3 countries?
Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone.
That's it.
Those are 3 big ones. Then there was a very interesting statistic, if I could find it. Just a moment. Going through Time magazine for those of you who have...
You should highlight your stuff so you know. Like a teacher,
those
you
of
should
you
know
who have
that
the
already.
latest edition of Time.
You were a teacher.
Monrovia. In Monrovia,
yeah.
People are no longer shaking hands. When they go to church, they're making sure that there's a certain amount of distance between them. There's as very little touching as possible.
Well, it's understandable, when... what do you know about Liberia?
It's spelled with an L? I don't know. What about it?
Do you know anything about the country?
No. No, geography was never a strong point for me.
Do you know any of its history?
No.
Liberia was formed of ex-slaves from the United States.
Okay.
The country, when all the slaves were freed in the 1800s, a lot of them went back and formed a country. That's one of the reasons why we have ties with them.
Well, they say you learn something new every day. I thank you for that bit of information. I do know, however, that also Time magazine reports that 52.9% of those people in Liberia who have contracted Ebola since September 29th will probably die. So it's not so much, if you watch some of the talk shows, it's not so much getting people geared up here but freeing up the funds and making sure that the monies get to the right countries and it's used properly so that their citizens, the people, can be immunized.
What happened in Liberia is they have a federally funded health services. They have health services for everybody, and the strain has made their health system collapse. They don't have the money to support it anymore.
It's true, there is no public health organization anymore there.
I mean, no, they were. They ran their own, they had their own health system. Free health, for everybody. But they've been spending so much money on Ebola that it just collapsed.
In fact, here's the exact quote, also from Time magazine of this week. It's more than a health crisis, they're saying. This is a growing threat to the regional and global security. In Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, public health systems have collapsed. Economic growth is slowing dramatically. If this epidemic is not stopped, this disease could cause humanitarian catastrophe across the region. And in an era when regional crises can quickly become global threats, stopping Ebola is in the interests of all of us. So that's a direct quote from Time magazine.
The other thing that Ebola does is it takes away all the headlines about ISIS. You don't hear about ISIS as much as you did.
Well, I think I'm going to contact... I'm going to get in touch with my contacts in Washington at the Pentagon. I have a great solution for ISIS. I think since we're bombing or attempting to, put an end to ISIS, I think we should load some Ebola virus into some of those bombs and drop them right on top of ISIS.
I think you're getting senile.
I think in that way, all they need is 21 days before the incubation period is over, and then they'll just start dropping like flies.
Mark, you're getting senile. You just said it a few minutes ago.
Well, no, but I didn't say it on the air, did I?
Yes, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
That's a little frightening, because now I have to start thinking about that brain damage that supposedly isn't there, but maybe it really is, because
unless my brain is damaged and I'm wrong.
I think I was talking to you about it before we actually went on the air. I don't think I mentioned it until now, but so be it. I think
it's okay. Don't worry about it. Nobody's listening to the show anyway.
Yeah, I think the two people who our loyal listeners have contracted Ebola. I don't know.
No.
But remember, that magic number, ladies and gentlemen, is 646-595-3275. And the topic for today is coming to a hospital near you, Ebola. Felix, why don't we talk about that nurse in Texas who became infected? She was one of the first nurses to treat Thomas Eric Duncan at the hospital.
Yeah, they're not sure why how she contracted it. There was a breach of, what do they call it? The breach in the procedures?
Well, I did hear Anthony Fauci on one of the talk shows today speaking about the method that they use, and it seems like they're constantly spraying themselves down with chlorine. Every time they take off another layer of protection, they're spraying themselves down.